to the Marvel Movie Minute, daily podcast in which we smash apart the films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe into 1 minute chunks so we can analyze them in scrupulous detail. I'm Kyle Olson from the Road to Infinity podcast.
Hey, and I'm Rob Cabasco. I love baseball caps. When I was in high school and college, wore baseball caps all the time. Weird thing happened, though, is then I started to get worried about my receding hairline, right on my temples. Thanks, Dad. We have that issue sometimes in our family.
Sure.
And so if you keep wearing the baseball hat, it pulls your hair back. It'll pull your hair out along here. So I don't wear them as much. So I have this wonderful place where I keep my favorite baseball caps. But you know what I don't want ever to happen to any of my baseball caps? I don't want anyone to stomp on them. Because, they're cool.
Right.
Some of them are not cheap. I like them. Don't ever step on a guy's hat.
Don't step on a guy's hat.
Do you know what happens to you? Bad things.
Especially in the MCU, because that is the ultimate disguise.
That's the ultimate disguise. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
I think something happens in this minute.
I think so. I think we're going to see the ultimate betrayal. So we pick up minute 20 of Louis Leterrier's 2008 Incredible Hulk with Bruce getting out of the way of Emil's shot just in time. He ducks around the corner and avoids being shot by the tranq dart. Whew. But the chase is still on. As they start to get close in, Blonsky realizes that this isn't working, and he figures out there's got to be another way to go. So maybe he's the one who's done the research on the map. Bruce is running blindly, but Emil has scoped out the land, he knows, so he takes a separate route and disappears from the minute almost entirely.
The rest of those commandos,
but they keep going.
No, we're going to chase them.
That's right. So as we go, we get to see a great chase scene through a bunch of laundry, and so the commando named Commando is played by John McDonald, aka Johnny Mac. So that he's the one who's chasing him through there. So this guy is actually he started out doubling Adrian Paul in Tracker. Adrian Paul from the Highlander.
Yeah,
the series. He actually did a bunch of doubling. Like this is one of his main things. He doubled for Jake Gyllenhaal in Day After Tomorrow, which is interesting because they don't look alike at all.
Wow. Yeah.
But his big thing, and like a role that he is currently still doing, is for Dominic Purcell. Dominic Purcell was not only in Prison Break, which is where Johnny Mac started working with him, but he is on The Wave Rider. He is a part of Legends of Tomorrow. So he's still his current his stunt double for Dominic now,
working in another comic book universe.
That's right. And speaking of crossing universes, he was on Star Trek Discovery.
What?
That's right. He was in season 1, episode 3. He, in the context is for Kings, he was killed by Ripper.
Oh.
So the tardigrade, that was like, he was one of the people who went over there. He wasn't wearing a red shirt, but he was a red shirt, and he got killed by the tardigrade. So he is carrying, because I know that our gun thing continues, he is carrying an FN P90. What does FN stand for? Well, I'm glad you asked. It stands for Fabrique Nationale. It is a Belgian gun.
Oh. I went, that's not what I thought any of that, like...
So as we're running through, this is where the ultimate betrayal happens. Bruce loses his hat.
Oh, and if you go by this frame by frame, it's awesome. And I don't mean to gush on Ed Norton in this, but there's a great shot of him as he's going through one of these rooftops and he's going through this laundry.
Yep.
You can pause it and see him look back, and he's just scared out of his mind.
That's right.
Like,
of the Steadicam operator who's running up on him.
Exactly, right.
But that's acting. I mean, that's what.
I think he even pops directly a look at the camera, just like, dude, you know that I'm running through this and I don't know where I'm going either.
Right. Because we find out what happens when you run through laundry. You don't know where you're going.
So he loses the hat.
Come to the edge.
We see him. We lose it. We think for a moment maybe this will be a little Indiana Jones. Maybe a gust of wind will come and bring his hat back to him.
Grab the hat out of the way, but no. Instead, Commando Johnny Mac steps on that hat.
I thought it's played for laughs a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Right? Because here's the hat.
Yeah.
Oh, my hat.
But also shows that's how close he is.
Well, okay, exactly. But I just love the idea that it's just, and I'm running, but I'm not running too fast where I can't make sure I stomp that hat. That just brings a smile to my face. This scene, in all of this chaotic action. Yeah. Yeah, your hat's getting it.
That's right.
I love it.
And then it's a great moment too that he gets to the end and poor Johnny Mac sees that he's the end of the building too, and there's a great fall as he bounces off the walls and then crumples to the ground.
I mean, this looks like a good 2-story, if not more, fall.
Great shot of his face too, like a great reaction shot of him, like whoa,
what? And then boom, hitting the wall.
Yep.
And then the full on faceplant, like on the ground below.
Yeah.
What I love about this is, because now getting to why he stomped on the hat.
Right.
Instant karma.
Right. Step on the hero's hat. Look what happens.
Look what happened to you. I think this is just such a great little sequence. Oh, I just love it. I think it's awesome.
And then, so you think, oh, whew, like that guy is something like one commando down. Bruce is out of danger, but no. Leaping into the chase is Adrian Hine. So Adrian Hine, this is the guy who is renowned for doubling. So he is a consummate double for all these guys. He has been. This is just a short list of the things he has done. He has been Beast in the X-Men movies, Human Torch, Green Arrow, Deadpool, and freaking Captain America.
What?
Yes. This guy, like when you see your heroes doing this stuff, it's usually Adrian Hine doing it.
Way to go.
I know. He's so legit threat. You know?
Yeah.
Like, Bruce, you're in trouble.
Well, and this is the guy, as we're going to get to, he's the one that actually really accelerates the stuff that's going to happen because he gets really close to taking him out.
Oh, yes. And if you want to know how good Adrian Hine's range is, he was also the double for Peter Fasinelli in Twilight. That's right. He was the stunt double for Dr. Carlisle Cullen.
That's a universe
Range.
I never thought we would bring.
I know, right?
Never thought Twilight would ever get mentioned in
And yet here we
120
are.
some minutes, and here we are.
In
All right,
20, we mentioned.
That's amazing.
It's a really great thing because that's the thing that's great about these guys being stunt performers is they are serious physical threats. Like he is close. I mean, like he is right on Bruce's heels this whole time. And once again, we cut to that great overhead shot of them running across the rooftop. And this is, once again, no CG. No. This is all real. This is all a real location. This is shot in Rio, them actually running across these rooftops. I mean, I'm sure they cleared it with everybody and they made it all
of course. No,
safe and that kind of stuff. But the helicopter is zooming in as we see either Edward Norton or his stunt double running across these rooftops with the Commando in hot pursuit.
What I thought was great about this is a gorgeous shot. And again, most likely helicopter because we're not really using drones back here when this is being produced. This shot is so great because it's practical effect.
Yes.
But it also makes you more appreciative of the editing of this entire sequence up to this point.
Yes.
Because if you were going to do this movie today, maybe I will reference a movie from another universe, Aquaman.
Okay.
You would look at this, a lot of directors today would look at this, read this scene in the script and read it in the storyboard, see it visualized and say, oh, we need a full CGI scene that somehow has a miraculous camera shot, one shot that follows these guys through all the rooftops and pans
through walls
and swerves
and windows
and goes through all this stuff because there is a shot like that in Aquaman. You don't need to do any of that. All this tension, all of this storytelling is in the fast cutting and editing, so you see the chases afoot.
Yeah.
And then when you cut to this scene, it's epic.
Yeah. Or I'd say the other side that they could have done, which they didn't, and I like as we get into the action scenes are going to continue as we continue on here, so we'll talk more about the editor. But you can also overcut. So that's like, this is like the Michael Bay is not the problem. Michael Bay, the people who are trying to ape Michael Bay are the problem. Right. And so like you get the difference between the first Taken and the third Taken, where like they just are chopping things up into, I think one of the videos I watched online on YouTube was it took 16 shots for Liam Neeson to climb over a fence.
Right. 16 cuts, huh?
Guys, really?
Yeah, I mean,
enough. Like, so this is like cut fast, but it's not cut into an inch of its life.
And I think that's great too. The way that this establishing or this continuing to establish where this is going on and how this is happening, it's just really done. And funny, here we are in the 20th minute and now going into a real shot and pacing discussion. Yeah. But that's what's important for this movie. Yeah, that's exactly. That's how they're building tension and how they're continuing the story. Yeah. So great job.
Yeah. So we get to see he manages to drop down and evade Adrian, but when we start to hear the beeping,
and I thought the key thing to the beeping is this Adrian gets a shot off. He gets a tranq shot off, misses him, but it's really close.
Yeah, and Bruce knows it.
And I think that's an awesome story. Yeah. Now we've taken another step closer. Okay, and now his beeping. Now his heart rate's getting into the danger zone. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. And so as he goes running away. Bruce runs into a sort of public market and slams right into some product placement.
What?
He arm checks right into a big container of Coca-Cola. Was this like a promotional consideration was paid for by Coca-Cola, or is it just was there on set? I don't know. Either way, I'm a fan of Coca-Cola, so I liked seeing it in there.
I personally love the juxtaposition of, I got to get my heart rate down. You know what I could really use right now? Big Coke.
There is a movie called The Making of And God Spoke, and it was in the early 90s. It was about a filmmaker trying to make a biblical epic, and then it's all about the compromises he has to make to get the thing done. So when he gets halfway through the movie, they run out of money, so they have to use product placement in order to make more money back in a biblical epic. So when Moses, played by Soupy Sales, comes off the mountain, he's carrying the tablets and a 6-pack of Coke. God has given me these commandments and this elixir.
Oh, no.
Every time I see Coca-Cola in a movie, it makes me think of that.
I got to see that Soupy Sales.
It's really funny. It's because it's all about the compromises you have to make in Hollywood to make the thing you want to make.
That's true.
Yeah.
Just a sidebar. If you don't know who Soupy Sales is, please Google, YouTube, search Soupy Sales.
No, you thought Twilight was a deep cut on the.
We just did
Marvel
a Soupy Sales
Soupy
reference.
Sales gets dropped.
Soupy
reference.
Sales, one of the most brilliant comedians of all time.
Yeah.
Absolutely check him out.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Before we get this too, we get the little shot of Emil and
So Emil has circled around, kind of figuring out like, oh, I bet this is where he's going. So he anticipated where Bruce would run to, and so
smart.
they both ended up at this public market. Now Bruce is freaking out about this because his heart rate is up high. It's at 175. We don't know what the magic number is, but we know that we're getting close to it.
We're in a danger zone.
Yeah, and so he starts doing his magical breathing, weird stomach muscle things. That he learned.
You don't see the crazy
Yep.
gymnastics he's doing with his abdomen,
Right.
but like we saw earlier.
Yeah.
Did you see when Emil shows up? You notice that dog. Did
Did
you worry about the dog?
I did worry about the dog. He walked past the dog and actually managed not to shoot it for once.
Do you know what I thought? Okay, so if you were to do this, wouldn't it have been funny, this shot, because it's a low angled shot when you see him looking up and the dog, and they're on equal sides of the screen. Wouldn't it be funny if he had walked up, shot doesn't change, and he just stands there and he's looking, and then he just points the gun down, boom.
You just hear the
Tranks the dog.
again.
Just tranks the dog. Dog falls over. That would have been funny.
That would have been funny. Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway. So we know Bruce is in trouble.
That's right. And he's closing in. At any moment, he could spot him across the way. And, and will he spot him? Will the Hulk make his appearance here in this market? We'll have to find out.
Wait, so that's where. So I'm worried about what's going on with his heart rate.
Yes.
I'm worried about all these people.
Yes, and I'm worried about that dog still.
And this chase is not over.
No, the chase isn't over. That's right. It's still going on. So we'll find out what happens in minute 21. In the meantime, thank you all for listening. If you would like to follow us on the social medias to find out what we're up to and when the next episodes drop, we are everywhere. We're on the Instagram. We're on the Twitter. We're on the Facebooks. Just look for The Next Reel. And you'll find out both about this show and about our parent show, The Next Reel Podcast.
When we say that next reel, we mean real
R-E-E-L. Yes, next reel.
Like the reel of film.
Yes.
Not the next reel.
No, the next reel. Not like real people.
Yeah, that's right. Oh my
Boy,
God.
this is the minute 20. We're in the obscure reference thing here.
I don't know. Don't Google real people.
Don't Google real people.
A semi weird variety show from the 80s. Don't even bother. No. Skip Stevenson. Apologies. What am I doing?
No, we got to end this minute quick.
Yeah,
all right,
we're
so
done.
we'll see you back time for minute 21. Hope you had a smashing good time. Thanks for listening. Until next time, true believers.
Bye.